Hey guys, welcome to my shop. I wanted to show you today the procedure that I do for cleaning my rifles. This is my 11.5 suppressed. I fired it recently and fired it a lot. And it's not crunchy, which is impressive considering that suppressed rifles are really nasty. And it's because it's the bolt carrier group is nickel boron. But first thing I do when I clean a weapon is I take the magazine off the table so that it doesn't magically find a way of ending up in the weapon. Then I take the optics cover on my RMR and cover it up and verify that the weapon is empty. And actually, first thing I do is I have a cleaning kit that I've had forever and a day, and I need to make sure that my oil bottle is up there. And anyways, I recently got married and moved, and so things are hard to find. Anyways, I have some show and tell for you guys. Okay, yeah, I have some show and tell for you guys. Alright, I always have a trash bag. Let me get this out of the way real quick. I've always got a trash bag that I keep in here, and when I clean rifles, the trash bag is used as a table liner so that I'm not getting oil and all kinds of schmutz on the table. And the trash bag is really obvious which side is which. In a very short period of time, you learn to figure out very quickly which side is which. That's the cleaning side, and that's the clean side. The cleaning side goes on the table. And I'm sorry, the clean side goes on the table and the cleaning side goes face up. And then I've got some truly old microfiber towels that I bought years ago. And these are basically, they're salon towels. And I got them because salon towels are generously sized and they're high quality and they do not let off lint. Because, you know, my goodness, kind of have lint on your face when you're having a facial done. So what I do is I just cut them in half. So this is one salon towel, and I cut the thing in half, and I end up with two. I know, simple division, right? And one of them goes on the plastic bag. I'm sure I'm in frame. Okay, good. One of them goes on the plastic bag. Hang on, let me find my oil. This is Extreme Duty Gun Oil by Lucas Oil, and it is the best stuff I've ever used for cleaning guns, especially suppressed rifles. Then the next thing I use are cocktail napkins. Why cocktail napkins? Because they're really inexpensive online, and you can get a whole bunch of them. And they're easier to throw away than large paper towels, meaning this has less of an ouch factor when you have to throw it away. And why is that important? Because when you're cleaning a rifle, it is going to be very nasty, especially suppressed. It's going to be very nasty. And you don't want to pass all that crap to your microfiber if you can avoid it. So the first thing I do is I connect the sling. Take the sling off from the front. I connect it to the back of the lower receiver. I disconnect the upper from the lower. Always pushing your takedown pins, because should your lower receiver take a spill over the table like this and you bend the takedown pin, you've just pretty much toasted a lower receiver. And especially when you've got one that's a registered SBR, bye-bye $200. So even though this is a suppressed rifle, in fact, let me show you really quick. Suppressed rifles barf carbon like it's going out of style. So just that casual little rub, that's what we've got going on. All you're really doing with a suppressed rifle is just basically rubbing oil on the surfaces. That needs a little bit of oil on the trigger. So, sear, disco, base of the hammer, lock it in place. When you test fire, for heaven's sakes, do not pull the trigger and allow your hammer to slam forward. Apply thumb pressure, press the trigger, check your reset. Don't be the guy who's allowing the hammer to smack onto your on the inside of your lower receiver. If you want to, ooh, that's nasty, might as well do that. The buffer and buffer spring on suppressed rifles get funky. Watch. Dirty buffer, clean towel. There's so much crap that blows into a suppressed rifle. It is, I often say that I think it's tantamount to every bullet is worth roughly, I'm going to say it's roughly worth one round fired suppressed is approximately 15 rounds unsuppressed. I think it's actually more than that. It's a hard thing to quantify because it all depends on the ammo that you're shooting. But suppressed fire is really rough. It's rough on you as a shooter because you're and here's the other thing. Everyone says, "Oh, you need to get blah blah blah," and they tell me whatever suppressor it is that they think is all that in a bag of chips. Guys, I'm a lefty, which means no matter what I do, I'm breathing crap because every time that gun disconnects, whether it's a piston gun or direct impingement, this side of the gun is facing me at all times. So all kinds of junk blows out of here right into my face. And there's not much I can do about that. It is what it is. So I've just learned to deal with it. Oil on the toothbrush. Inside the tube. Oh, by the way, this is a Griffin Armament suppressor optimized buffer SOB. I like them. They really work well at slowing the gun down. And that's pretty much it. That's really all I do because there's always a fine coating of oil on every surface of this gun. This gun and I have a lot of mileage together. So, alright, for upper receiver, first thing that happens is bolt carrier group comes out. Walk your charging handle forward. Take apart your BCG. The needle point on your oil bottle can push right in. Cotter pin comes out. Cotter pin goes onto the table. Firing pin falls out. Take the cam, rotate, drop it on the table. Bolt comes out. Take the oil. Brush, 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 brush. Bolt face. Extractor. No, you don't have to disassemble your extractor. Just get oil everywhere. Set that aside. Cam, oil, set it aside. Firing pin. Run it on the brush. Oil, oil, oil. All I'm doing right now is softening the carbon and all the crap, the lasagna pan from hell that got baked onto all the parts by the suppressor. Suppressors are nasty. Okay, so they get yuck really quick. Try to avoid touching your gun with the junk that's on your hands. That's what the microfiber is for the initial phase. Constantly keep wiping your gloves because whatever is here ends up here, and whatever is here ends up here. You want to avoid that. I have an ancient, and I truly mean ancient, bore snake that all the brushes are completely squashed down on. Trust me, the brushes don't do much for you anyways. Every once in a while, and I'll do it for you now, every once in a while you just add some oil to this. Make sure you're using a high quality oil. And this thing is always impregnated with oil. I never clean it, I just keep adding oil to it. And what you're after is that little bit of smear that you want to get inside the barrel. Now, because I do not, when it comes to my rifles, I do not leave them chambered. I don't have to worry about cleaning the chamber. If you do chamber your rifle, make sure you wipe down that chamber because you do not want to pass oil onto your rounds. Getting a bore snake through a suppressor, you got to go straight down and keep working it You're going to hear it making it, there it is. You hear it making its way through the baffle stack. If your bore snake gets slightly out of alignment, let me show you real quick what I mean. You see how that's kind of hanging just off to one side? What you do is you take the bore snake, take that brass jag, and just yank in the opposite direction. And now I've got it hanging straight on. I know the lighting isn't very good in here, guys. It's raining hard today, which is why I'm doing this, because I just finished making slings for the day and I was going to go to the range, and then happened. So now we're doing a gun cleaning video. I like screw-on suppressors. This is a Gemtech, the GMT-556LE, also known as the SOCOM. This is the can that won the SOCOM trials years ago. It actually beat Surefire. And I know someone's going to get all butthurt because I just said that, but it's the truth. The bore snake that I've had is 2000, and let's see here. I'm going to say I've had this since 2009, this one. And I've never replaced. I think I had a backup at one point and I gave it to somebody. But yeah, I love these things. Had them forever. 223, 9mm. They last for an eternity. When they get all raggedy, it doesn't matter. Just keep working with them, because what you're really after is softening the crap that's in the gun, moving it around a little bit, and just leave it in place. So, once I do a couple of passes through, I pretty much call it quits on the barrel. When it comes to suppressed rifle, give it 2 or 3. So once again, trying to get it through the baffle stack, you just walk it up and down. Make sure your rifle, make sure your upper is pointing straight down. There you go. Hooks out of the bottom. And I get it to about here. And then I pull back through. I know, someone's going to be like, what are you doing? Guys, that whole don't clean from the muzzle end thing, all that's about is not allowing a tool to hit the crown on your barrel. And that's not about, okay, story time. A friend of mine is a former Marine sniper and Navy SEAL sniper, DevGuru, Craig Sawyer. And Craig once told me that when he was going through training, I want to say, Craig, you're going to have to help me. I want to say it was a Russian lady, right? That was training y'all. Maybe it was when they were with the Serbians. I can't remember. Anyways, he told a story that they were somewhere doing training, and they were being real finicky with their rifles, with the cleaning regimen, and the people they were with were like, scrub it, just scrub it. And he says that whole, not cleaning from the muzzle end, he goes, don't even worry about it. He goes, as long as you're not beating the crown, you're fine. So I thought that was kind of funny. So anyways, here's the thing that I really want to show you about suppressed uppers. Okay, relatively clean towel. There's so much crap inside of these guns, it is unreal. It is unreal how nasty these things get. Now here's the deal. You can spend forever cleaning this and it will continue to just ooze carbon. It's a suppressed rifle. This can is screwed on. Okay, it's screwed on and Loctited. It does not come off ever. This rifle is zeroed at 100 yards. You guys have seen me hit at 300 yards like it's nothing. I don't worry about this rifle all that much. I work with it. I clean it. I'm good to it. I only shoot M193 through it, so I don't shoot garbage through it. But I do give it oil, and it does need oil. And this gun will shoot itself dry faster than anything else will, because suppressed rifles just do that. So oil goes into the chamber, oil goes into the upper. Take your charging handle out of the way if you want. Get a little bit of oil into the charging handle track. And because this rifle is consistently oiled and oiled and oiled and oiled, there's always residual oil in there. So it isn't like I'm introducing oil to a bone dry, crunchy rifle. Which, by the way, whenever I go to classes and I hear that crunch because my digital hearing protection can hear it, when we have our first break, I go over to the guy and I go, "May I show you something on your rifle?" And if the dude is willing to listen, I give him knowledge. If he's a butthole, I walk away. For those who do listen, I show them that the procedure that I just showed you here, and the procedure of oiling the lower receiver, putting oil into the buffer tube, those two things, along with oiling your bolt carrier group, takes the rifle from crunch, crunch, crunch to... And yeah, that matters when you're working with the rifle. By the way, guys, do not drop this into the trash can. When you're all done, all this gets folded into the gloves. If you're gonna throw away your gloves, if you're not gonna throw away your gloves, by the way, nitrile gloves, just wash them, and hang them up with a magnet on your refrigerator or a chip clip. Let them dry. Put it back in your cleaning kit. Don't throw these things away. Once they develop holes, pitch them, obviously. But these things, don't just drop this in the trash can, unless you have a liner. Because if you have just an ordinary plastic trash can, you're going to end up staining the interior, and it's going to get all over everything when you're maybe reaching in the trash can to get something that fell in. So don't be that guy. Alright, since I am doing more than one rifle today, I'm just going to put this here. Okay, bolt carrier. Should have done this earlier because I was busy talking, I forgot. Bolt carrier, add a little bit of oil. Brush goes in. Work it around. Then take your bone tool. I know that there are conflicting views on this. I use a bone tool. I've used it for years. If you're using manganese phosphate, you're probably going to be okay. If you're using chrome, be careful, because that can tear up chrome linings. Nickel boron, good luck getting this to hurt this. Nickel boron's really tough. But nonetheless, I choose not to be rough on it. So I just insert it in until it bottoms out, rotate it a few times, take it out. Take the bolt carrier group, take the bolt carrier, nose it into the front of the bone tool, work it back and forth. Take the firing pin, drop it into the bone tool, work it back and forth, and you're pretty much done. Give everything a brief wipe down, and all that junk that was stuck to this firing pin has now completely come off, because the oil softened it, and all I had to do was just wipe it away ever so gently. And this Lucas Extreme Duty gun oil is so good that it does a really nice job of cleaning baked on carbon from a suppressed rifle right off of the firing pin. When you're doing this portion of things, make sure that you're drying your bolt face. If you're going to be working with a chambered rifle, like for home defense, you want to have it chambered. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. If you're working with a chambered rifle that you prefer to have chambered, make sure your bolt face is clean, make sure your chamber is clean. I don't chamber my rifles because they're left out in areas that can be easily picked up, so I don't want to have any problems that way. But when it comes to like my EDC guns, yeah, they're chambered. Toothbrush goes back in with a little bit of oil. And all I'm doing right now is scrubbing this thing down, mostly because this upper receiver does not have an ejection port cover, and I don't want this crap ending up on my clothing whenever I come in contact with the rifle, because remember, I'm a lefty, so the chamber is always touching me. So wipe down, wipe down. Sorry, my cat is in here being a fool. Get out. Give it a wipe. Give it a wipe, give it a wipe. Nickel boron is amazing stuff. This is a bolt carrier group that I got from AIM Surplus years ago. I have so many rounds on these bolt carrier groups. I have a bunch of these. I have no idea how many rounds they have on them. They just have a lot of rounds. No problems whatsoever. Remember, when you're putting in your bolt, it does matter which direction that extractor goes. The extractor and the ejector, they face that way. Pull it forward ever so slightly. Cam goes in, it already has a little bit of oil on it, so you just drop it in. Rotate. Firing pin goes in the back. Make sure you bottom it out. The cotter pin goes in. Now here's the deal. When you go to insert this pin, if it gives you any grief, don't force it. If it gives you grief, you basically grab it, rotate, and rock up and down to get it to seat in, and you're good to go. When you go to insert this into the upper receiver, sling it out to make sure that that bolt is all the way forward. Charging handle goes partially out. Gas key goes into the crook of the charging handle. Upend it. Don't force it, upend it. Allow it to walk itself in. If you have to force it, something's wrong. Something's misaligned, something is out of place. So charging handle goes back in. And remember, when you're putting in a charging handle, you insert, go in, push down, pull back. So go in, push down, pull back, click, push it slightly in. Bolt carrier group, sling it out, invert it, gas key into the crook of the charging handle, introduce it to about right there, upend, done. Take your lower receiver, wipe your hands, wipe your hands, wipe your hands, wipe your hands. Take your lower receiver, take down pins open, upper in place. Every once in a while it wants to be a booger because I'm on camera. By the way, that was my Glock tool. There we go. Sling goes back in place. Make sure it's oriented correctly. Ta-da! Yes. Clean gun. Mag goes back in. And that's it. Clean rifle. Have a good one.